Hello there, and welcome to Attorney Advertising 101. I'm John from White Raven Technology, and today we're going to be talking about something very exciting and near and dear to every marketer's heart: split testing and analyzing your online advertising. This video and article are the second entry in a 7-part series on the very basics of advertising your law firm online using the 3 most common ad platforms: Google AdWords, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Throughout the series, we'll discuss an overview of how each ad platform or method works, and also when and why you might choose to advertise using one service or method over the others. Now, as I mentioned, in this particular entry in the Advertising 101 series, we're going to discuss split testing and analysis of your online advertising. So let's dive in. Before we really get into the nitty-gritty of these 2 ideas, let's first explore just for a moment what they are to begin with. Split testing is the process of creating multiple variants in a systematic way of your advertising creatives. That is, your ad text, images, targeting, and so forth. Then analyzing which variants or combinations of factors work the best. And by the way, we'll talk more about determining your objectives and the definition of works best in a moment. The notion of split testing is probably best served by a simple example. So let's say you're advertising your firm's estate planning services on Facebook. Part of building your Facebook ads, of course, will be selecting an image for the ads. Now, you might be tempted to simply select an image of an older smiling couple for your ad and go with that. But how do you know if that image gets you the best results? You don't, because there's nothing to compare it to. So instead of simply running the one image, you would run 2 versions of the same ad. One with the smiling older couple and another, perhaps, a pile of money. The same ad has now been split into 2 ads that we can test and analyze to see which one performs better. You might find that the pile of money shows an increase in your ROI of 10% over the smiling couple, or there may be no difference at all. In addition to testing images, the other factors we would normally split test, depending on the advertising platform, might include the ad headline, or the main highlighted text that tells the viewer what the ad is about, the ad body or description or whatever the field is named, but generally the text that expands on the headline. The targeting of the advertisement, including factors like age, income level, marital status, profession, etc., each facet of which could be tested separately. And the time of day or the day of the week that your ads run, and so forth. One key to note about split testing your ads is not to test too many factors at one time. By splitting your ads on more than a few factors, you could end up with 100 or 500 or more variants to test all at once. This presents a couple of problems. First, you have to pay to run each of those individual ads in some cases. But more importantly, number 2, that's a lot of data you have to analyze and draw conclusions from, and it can be very difficult to uncover actual correlations among the factors that you're testing with that many to consider. Instead, choose 1 or 2 factors to split test at a time. Figure out which variants are the winners, then perhaps test another factor or 2 to continue optimizing your results. Split testing is both one of the hardest things to get right and one of the most important factors that will determine the success of your advertising. Not split testing means you have no idea if your ads could be performing better than they are. And here's a hint. I have never run an advertising campaign among the thousands and thousands of ads and tens of thousands of dollars I've spent in which the first ad I tried was the best performing in the end. The general idea is to start with a broad range of concepts for your ad, then put him in a cage. Find out which of your gladiators stands triumphant, then promote him. In other words, put more and more of your budget into the winner that you've discovered among the pits, so to speak. Now, how do we know what works best actually means? Well, this can vary from campaign to campaign. If you're trying to drive leads to pursue directly, so DUI defendants, injured workers, people in need of estate planning, etc., the metric you'll most often want to consider is your return on investment, or ROI. Your advertising ROI is, quite simply, the profit you earn on top of the money you spend on your ads. And that would include management fees if you outsource your marketing or if you're paying an in-house staff member to manage things. Sometimes, though, the purpose behind our advertising isn't necessarily to lead directly to a sale. If we have a blog and want to promote our informational articles to a wider audience, we might use Facebook boosted posts or LinkedIn sponsored content ads to get that content out to a highly targeted audience. In that case, while the goal should still be to eventually turn our readers into customers, the metric we're really interested in this case could be either the number of people who actually clicked through and read our content, or, more effectively, how many blog subscriptions, comments, likes, shares, and so forth did the content receive as a result of the ad. So think carefully about what your goals actually are for an advertising campaign. Then make sure you're analyzing the right data to be sure you're reaching your goals most effectively. Get these two things right, split testing and analyzing the results, and you'll already be doing far, far better than the vast majority of your competitors. Now, there's obviously a lot more that we could talk about along these lines, but first of all, a more in-depth look would really require diving into specific advertising platforms and tools to discuss the methods and means of split testing within each, and to look at the reporting and capabilities of each. That would take a lot of time. Second of all, I really wanted this series to be more of an introduction to the concepts you'll need to understand to be successful in your online advertising. I plan to publish more advanced content at a later date that explores the actual hands-on experience of advertising on the various platforms. So we'll cover much more on these subjects then. Well, that's all for this entry. I hope you've learned a little something about what split testing and analysis actually mean in online advertising, and that you understand just how important they both are to getting the results you're after. I hope you'll join us for the next entry in the Attorney Advertising 101 series, which will be basic Google AdWords advertising. Now, what questions do you have? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure that one of our team members gets back to you with an answer, probably me. We love talking about this stuff almost as much as we like actually doing it. And with that, and until next time, happy marketing.